Hey everyone, Uva here. I'm the Chief Sustainable Innovation Officer at Wallet Max, and I invest in social impact, fintech, and climate innovation startups. And my passion is to champion for women's financial inclusion and C-suite transformation. I'll be discussing sustainable loyalty today. How can we boost brands and stakeholders' loyalty, be it customers, partners, or investors with ESG? That's environment, social, and governance. As we all know, there's a huge increase in digital transformation and the need to accelerate innovation in new products and services globally, especially post-pandemic, right? Customers want more than just business transactions. They want to support companies, also known as be more loyal and give repeat profits, that prioritize people positivity, planet consciousness, and integrity in all aspects, and further drive impact-oriented profits. How can we balance responsible business investments with ESG for the long term? Can startups and corporations connect with customers using authentic communication and brand voice and lead to attract new like-minded customers while also establishing mutual trust and strengthen customer loyalty with the existing customers and increase retention, right? Let's dive right in. In a recent survey, especially post-pandemic, like I mentioned, we know that effectively articulating your business investments in ESG to customers improves transparency and drives loyalty with increased engagement, and that's through values alignment. But a key consideration is how can we identify shared values between businesses and customers and leverage that proactively to ensure stickiness in either B2B or B2C. Governments and investors worldwide these days require that companies report on ESG commitments, both to their customers and all their stakeholders. 83% of consumers believe that companies should actively shape ESG best practices, and it's both for active customers and future customers. Based on real data, we know that 4 out of 5 customers will stop buying from a brand if they are non-sustainable. On the contrary, they are willing to increase purchases if they match in values and culture. Nearly 1/3 of large-scale publicly traded companies have committed to turning net zero. Supply chain fairness and ethical leadership, regardless of technology, are critical for success. In terms of running a responsible and responsive business for the long term, B2B and B2C strategies should be integrated with enterprise operations with up-to-date internal controls for continuous ESG measurement, while also protecting shareholder rights. Here are some ESG examples in a sustainable environment. We should aim to reduce carbon emissions, reduce water use. For the social pillar, definitely focus more on diversity and inclusion. But beyond that, ensure employee health and safety, and definitely align your corporate values to social justice, whichever side you take. But that should be transparently communicated to your customers, so there is no ambiguity. Within governance, we should track, measure, and report metrics specific to regulatory compliance, ethical sourcing, data privacy, and executive pay and bonus. In a PwC survey, recently we know that investors poured literally $51 billion into ESG impact funds in 2020, and that too we were in the middle of a pandemic. And we also know recently that 80% of customers are interested in being rewarded, not just for purchases from brands, but for engaging with them. ESG is an opportunity to engage loyal customers around a set of shared values and for the longer run, right? We want to be investing in the longer run. So we typically, to position the brand and boost loyalty, we start with primary and secondary research. It's always recommended to leverage first-party data, see what their behavioral and attitudinal preferences are. And from there, you can supplement with third-party data. Then you can deeply segment current customers as well as predict future customer insights. Corporate motivation should be built on trust, not self-interest, and that should be clearly communicated to your customer, whichever channel they are coming from, right? And the companies should override disinformation that's out there in lot of channels, but you should be the most trusted source for your customers to reach out. So there should be a direct brand communication through company messaging, both currently as well as in future when there is misinformation, disinformation. The customers are able to directly come to your single source of truth, and there is no ambiguity in terms of their relationship and loyalty to your brand in the longer term. Now, how do we build and maintain customer loyalty, right? So in terms of building and maintaining, believability is key. Your customers should be able to see your brand as fulfilling values, not just putting it out there in terms of language and reports, but rather act on it. It's a good practice to pursue multiple aspects of ESG at once, but do not compromise on quality. So you can diversify based on your resource availability, but if it's becoming a compromise to a quality of work delivered, then you should try to make a good balance between the both, because quality, of course, is more important than quantity. The strong identity from business should be reshared and influenced further by the customers, because you're going to reach one direct network, then there will be multiple indirect networks that the customers will be able to influence further. Now, once a company learns what matters to its customers, it must determine a plan of action. It should be achievable, measurable, accurate, and communicable. It's extremely important to align with your customer values, your stakeholder values, corporate values, or you as the leadership or the founder, or even in a corporate C-suite setting. All values should be aligned, and the plan of action should be an all-inclusive execution plan. And again, thanks everyone for joining here on Earth Day with the Wallet Max Emerald Summit. We'll be doing more community events and additional summits in terms of latest trends and bringing in more startup founders and leaders in this space. I'm happy to connect on LinkedIn. If you want to continue this conversation, ping me or email us at Wallet Max. It's on our website. Thanks for connecting.